Hello everyone, welcome back. So if you guys are watching the stream, which nobody is right now, but that's typical. Again, market's just in a neutral to bearish state, so you should expect the market's going to go down. It's unfortunate for retail because, all the mainstream news organizations just straight pumped absolutely positive news to all of retail today. And obviously it's just resulted in a big dump today, right? So, that's tough. Again, guys, market's still going down. The selling operation, the algorithmic sell program that started today at about 9:54 a.m. When the market broke down, the price is 685.06, which again is just like that yellow horizontal line. Sell program is underway. It's not that we're trying to bounce the market. We're actually neutral to bearish. We just know when the market finally slows down and it does bounce, it's going to try to target back to the volume weighted average price of the algorithmic selling program. So there's probably a ton of retail traders trying to buy the bounce, and arguably it works just fine, sometimes. But the problem is we know that we're in a neutral to bearish state. So we know that any bounce is not a swing long dip bounce continuation. It's a counter trend long in the hopes that you go back to a swing long market. So we just know that anyone buying dips here just doesn't really fully understand the trend of the market. My bad. I had the mic muted as I was making a YouTube short. So, yeah, anyways, it's just we're in a neutral to bearish state right now. The arrow points to where the market entered a neutral to bearish state. So, it's just pretty much it. So, you're supposed to be bearish, that's all. Or you're just not long bias. And if you're buying dips, be extremely careful because you're in a neutral to bearish market. So, when you buy these dips, you have to hope that you just found the bottom and then it's going to reverse up, right? Because you're not in a swing long state. When you're in a swing long state, it's more likely that you buy a dip and then it bounces and then it keeps going up because you're in a swing long positive market. When you're in a neutral to bearish one, it is a little more likely that you'll find yourself catching a falling knife or something like that, right? Because you're in a neutral to bearish state. So, anyways, welcome to my one true friend, Shark Busy. So, yeah, so all it pretty much means is that we're just neutral to bearish. When this thing finds its footing, which it generally will at some point, the markets are just going to be attracted to that box right there. That's the 1 minute volume weighted average price of today's current selling algorithm. So at some point we're going to backtest there. I don't know when. It's just going to happen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we're just going to stay bearish below that. So as long as the market's not above this, we're just going to be bearish all day. That's pretty much it. That's a little... facetious maybe, but it's really this. I should increase that. It's really like this. The 1 and the 5 minutes kind of goofy though, because the way it's positioned. I don't know if I like that one today. Yeah, this one's a little tricky, a little trickier, but yeah, as a baseline, it pretty much just means as long as the market is not again above here, it's just gonna go down all day, pretty much. It's that simple. Actually, the funnier thing today was, you see how the market gapped up. So this morning when the market gapped up, the most obvious thing was that all the news was going to be positive with, oh my gosh, the market's putting in gains overnight. The NASDAQ and the Dow rise, right? They rise right into the over-under resistance, meaning if the market does not recover, then it's the start of a new sell program. So essentially the news just basically pumped retail into the perfect trap this morning, as they normally do. But again, retail will never figure it out, most likely. You know, when I say retail, I'm just saying like 90% of the population will just never figure it out, is all. You know, so this morning you're going to wake up, see positive news, and clapped. Bitcoin's going down, like, who would have thought? The funniest part of today's sell-off is that we gapped up into resistance overnight. Most of retail, like 90% of market participants, will never kind of learn the system, so they're going to see this big gap up and go, oh my gosh, it's great, and then they're going to go read the news, and the news is going to be like, market's gapping up, stocks are recovering, right into resistance, then you get pooped on. Stock market news today. Stocks rise higher. Stock market something higher. Stocks down, set to rise as Buffett. So look at right there, Market Watch 1 hour ago. Stock market set to rise. So retail's like, okay, we're going to rise. You mean absolutely get destroyed. Because again, news, market, 90% of the herd have no idea this was a gap up into a resistance over under, which could have flipped the market positive, or it's the start point of negative. So again, this is the start point of positive and the start point of negative, right? So we pushed up, and ultimately it's just a back test and down. So retail all got pooped on today by listening to mainstream media news once again. Again, guys, we're just bearish. See where that green anchor is? It doesn't matter. The market's just neutral to bearish below that. All right. And then as far as momentum goes, we're going to stay bearish the market day as long as it's below that VWAP. It'll eventually bounce back to it, hit it, and then maybe even use it as but just bottom line, we're just bearish today as long as it's below that. It's the most simple thing ever. This YouTube stream's lit. Best YouTube stream there's ever been.
Order filled. Order filled.
Super scam.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Oh, you know, just same old, same old. Not a whole lot to say, folks. Market's just it's just bearish, pretty straightforward. I wish there was more to say, but there's really not. Our stream is so popping this morning. It's crazy. That's what happens when well, I guess when you're not, we've been launching our business the past week, so kind of busy. Well, 2 weeks maybe. So to the one viewer in here, thanks for tuning in. Again, guys, it's super simple. Again, market today is neutral bearish below this line. There's literally neutral bearish. That's the simplest you can make a neutral bearish below here. And, well, that would be the start point. That's the start point right there. And then this blue VWAP down would be the momentum trend for the day. As long as it's below that, all bounces get sold into for the most part and will not rally up. So, there's probably a bunch of different YouTube streams this morning where people are like, all right, when's it going to bottom? When's it going to bottom? Which, that's the right idea to be seeking out bottoms, but maybe not the best way to seek out bottoms on the start of a selling operation. But either way, again, it's super, super easy day. We're just bearish, and you're just going to stay bearish until pretty much the stock market network says otherwise, or until the stock market systems say otherwise. Do not listen to CNBC. Listen with a big grain of salt on every other YouTube channel. Honestly, even including mine. Listen with a grain of salt, including mine, until you've watched it enough times to know that we pretty much just try to guide everyone in the right direction every day with no fluff. Oh, the best part about today was it's not even actually how the market moved, but more how the market more how the retail news, more like how the news just straight up schemed retail this morning. Look at this 1 hour ago. Stock market today, Dow and S&P 500, NASDAQ set to rise as Buffett, Berkshire. So 1 hour ago, Market Watch was basically putting Diddy oil all over retail public traders. And for what? Just to basically dump them at the new start of a sell signal. What else we got? 4 minutes ago, S&P 500 rises to start November. Does it really rise? I mean, sure, maybe in the morning, but now just getting absolutely cooked. So CNBC might as well just go bankrupt. So 7 minutes ago. Wall Street edges up on AI. More like Wall Street straight claps the market today because no retail knows when we go into buy and sell algorithms. So let's see. Right here, AI overview. The stock market is up today. Really? I mean, it was, but now clapped because, again, AI and news organizations, they don't follow the markets, right? They just sell random whatever articles that are meaningless for the most part. Again, guys, we're neutral to bearish today, so you can be neutral. When I say neutral to bearish, it means you don't have to short the stock market, right? Meaning you don't have to buy long and you don't have to be short. The simplest thing to do is when the market breaks below the SMA is to close your long or don't take new long entries and don't short. Just do nothing. Sit here and laugh while the entire market goes down and then just wait for the next buy signal and then get long. And then the market will most likely go up. And then you'll laugh because you just avoided the entire drop. And then you're going to start looking at the news organizations and go, oh, market's rising again. Markets are pumping. You're like, well, yeah, because we're in a buy signal. So again, guys, just to keep everyone in check, literally you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to short the market. You can literally just sit back, do nothing, giggle, and then just wait for the next buy signal. That's it. Super simple. I wish, I don't wish. I will not, I will no longer just be some talking, screaming head at a computer here. There's no need for it. Once you understand the system, it becomes pretty simple. It only goes up, only goes down. Just figure out which side of the market you're on, and that's it. And then you don't have to really read news. You don't need to go strategy hop unless you want to dial in extra. But once you learn everything we're teaching on the stream, you'll be on the right side of the market almost every time. And when I say on the right, meaning not necessarily your trade, but your bias and your psychology is always correct. It's never wrong at this point, if you ask me. Granted, I've been looking at the system for now like straight up 4 or 5 years straight, so it's a little different for me than obviously someone learning it for the first time. But once you watch it enough, you pretty much figured out this is exactly how the stock market operates on a day-to-day basis and how money and markets are manipulated. And that's it.
Adding Fin actually halved their cost per case. The ROI was immediate and the cost per case has gone down dramatically.
Get started with Fin, the #1 AI agent for customer service. Try Fin risk-free today.
Wayfair presents lighting. Get the latest looks with top fixtures at low prices and a huge lineup of floor lamps, all under $79. Shop tons of table lamps, $49 or less. Go modern, stay classic, or get weird in a good way. Plus, Wayfair has installation services and fast and free shipping over $35. All the lighting, none of the stress. Now that's a glow up. So hit the lights. Shop lighting for way less at Wayfair.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Out and Sarah's break even. Cool.
Dot 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 ba ba ba. Yeah, so sorry. Again, not a whole lot to say. Volatility index is positive. That's another thing today too. Why you should have been skeptical of the market getting over the 50 SMA was, again, if you look at the volatility index here today, volatility is fearful right now, meaning volatility markets are scared, which means stock markets are scared. Hence why we're going into a sell move. So this positive trend happened with the FOMC. So we didn't trust the volatility then because we know it was just increasing due to FOMC, but FOMC passed or whatnot, and a couple days later we're still above the SMA. So that means fears in the market, right? So knowing that fears in the market, and then you look at the market today getting absolutely clapped, you're like, I mean, makes perfect sense. Really, no confusion there, right? Again, it's how it normally goes.
Alright, cool. Like, are we gonna have any kind of reaction? We're just sitting here. 1 hour OB and FEG. We're just sitting around, like, Jesus.
Sorry guys, I know I'm not saying a whole lot. I mean, you can feel free to ask questions and give me something to talk about. Otherwise, I probably won't say a whole lot. There's a bunch of other emails and random stuff I can do in the background. And again, a lot of times the reason I won't say a whole lot because there isn't really a need to say a whole lot sometimes. It's on the screen. You're neutral to bearish below here. That's all you need to know. All right. And, well, that's not it. And this. All bounces sold into unless this view app was recovered to a degree.
Accumulating this hourly OB fair value gap, basically. I don't know what we're gonna do. This candle is awesome. 34.1. Is that a news candle? Is that a random one? I like, oh my gosh. On Friday, someone saying that someone commented on Twitter saying that they got stopped out on that Trump China headline with upside, and then it went to their TP, and I was like, damn, trading be like that. Johnson talked to Trump over the weekend about Snap. That was something that just came out 11 seconds ago. 8th, Fed's Goolsby. But yeah, this guy had to start yapping. Fed's Goolsby is cautious about the layoff.
No questions? All right, sounds good. We won't say anything. All you gotta know is market's gonna go down until pretty much the stock market network says it's not, or until the system tells me it's not.
I see him on the calendar, Goolsby. It's annoying. Usual to have low hiring, low firing economy.
Oh my gosh, you guys notice that Bitcoin's going down? Isn't that crazy? Like, just a couple weeks ago, Stock Market Network told you Bitcoin was going to probably be going down and maybe even entering a bear market, and pretty much since then, market on Bitcoin's just been going down. That's crazy.
Okay.
Super simple, guys. Alright, actually that one's not super simple. That one took far more skill than the S&P 500 stuff. But yeah, market's just going down. Our last resistance kind of level that we were talked about that was right here. So that was the last time we really talked about Bitcoin or were streaming, is when Bitcoin hit a price of about 116,000. We were streaming, we brought up the news articles, and we said, hey guys, look, this is the perfect example why you don't listen to news, because one of our long targets at that time was 114 to 116,000, knowing very well that that was a retraceable target, and then knowing very well that that was probably a big resistance point. So the day of Bitcoin reaching those prices, what could we know? What do we already know? Like, well, if 4 days ago to like a week and a half ago, we're like, yeah, Bitcoin can go up to 114, 116,000. And then it does. We already know the news is going to do what? It's going to go cheer it on. Oh, Bitcoin hit 116,000. All right, so that all happens. And on that day, we specifically went over a topic, which is pretty much why you don't pay attention to the news. And that is because 116,000 was a mega volume weighted average price resistance level. So we pretty much knew that there was a good chance resistance would be there. So when you look at the news and you see the news says 116,000, Bitcoin's crushing it, we already know that it's probably going to be resistance. So pretty much the news just pumps to retail. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin's crushing it, 114, 116K. We just laugh because we know we hit our long target. Now we know we're probably going to sell it. And we know if the resistance is true, market gets cooked, and everybody buying into Bitcoin in the 114, 116 because either they thought it was good or because they're reading news articles is going to get waxed, right? So that's the same thing we did today on the market. We went over that same thing. If you look at the stock market today, there was a big gap up. The first thing the news articles do, they go, oh my gosh, the market's up big, stocks are rising, and the market is set to rise because of something Berkshire Hathaway. And then I look at the market and go, well, volatility is still fearful. Market really hasn't proven it's into a long move, so maybe not. And then next thing you know, market breaks back down 50 SMA, and it has nothing to do with me. It's really just the system. The people that are in the know, we know that the market is neutral to bearish today. So we're not going to be going extremely long bias until we are really given a reason to do so. So what do? We come on YouTube, tell you guys, hey, watch out, market neutral to bearish, just stay down all day long. Next thing you know, market so far has been down all day long. Again, it's not me. It's the system telling me these things.
Do I need to get a new calendar? What's the other one, you guys?
So anyways, today's been a really fun day because, again, we've been on the right side of the market all day long, which is just being neutral or bearish. It's a good feeling, guys. It's a good feeling.
Great. we're breaking through all those levels.
Oh, no questions? Alright, I guess I won't say much. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin, no. Actually, this is probably when I should probably stop just being a lame YouTube streamer and just giggling in my mind and actually think about the next trade. Alright, we actually could be coming into a tradable zone here on Bitcoin, so I might even try and take something. The question is do I want to be early or do I want to wait? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What you gonna do? Act a fool? The reality is I should probably wait because I always do this. I get a little excited, and then next you know I take an entry, and then it goes lower, and then I have to average it. Also, that I expect to average it, but then sometimes it does shine, and I get pissed. So it's kind of one of those psychological games. But this may not be the best trade, but I'm basically gonna take a stab at Bitcoin here. Took a little long here. This is probably gonna go red down to there. Wouldn't be surprised if I'm lucky. It just goes up. Probably not gonna happen. So started there. We're probably going all the way down to 105,090. So I'm gonna lose 700 points on this trade to start, and then we'll see if we can live through that pain, which is we'll see. I don't really care anyways. I already know where it's going to go. If it doesn't go up right now, so it's going to go down to 105,090. So I know exactly what my loss is going to be, at least to that point. So, yeah, and then we're going to try to see if we can get a little bit of a bouncer, like right there. Whether it starts exactly at or it goes below, don't really care. That's pretty much what we're looking for. So we're going to be using the weekly volume-weighted average price for this one. It's a little sketchy of a trade just because obviously there's selling pressure in the market, but I just think that there might be an opportunity there. This is by no means something that I really, really like, but I do see it as a potential, so. And when I say it's a potential, again, it's just, they're price points that just the average trader would just never be looking at, Typically the things that I look for are not what the average retail trader ever looks for. So usually I would think that I have a little bit more edge than the average, so I'll probably be just fine. And if I lose, guess what? It really doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because whether or not how much money I make or lose in this lifetime, I cannot take it with me when I go. So don't be too attached to the things here on earth. They really don't matter. Other than your family, and then treating other people with respect and love and empathy and sympathy. Those things actually matter. Everything else is just, it's not even real, really. Granted, money is important because how else are you going to survive on this planet? But other than that, 3 people on this stream. We are absolutely crushing it, folks. We are crushing the YouTube scene, baby. Who would have thought? Just absolutely coming onto the scene. Cutting it up on the dance floor, hitting that Ricky Bobby, shake and bake, making grandmas quake. That sounded terrible. Should probably ask for forgiveness on that one. Oh my gosh, the market still hasn't recovered. That's crazy. So now we're kind of getting to the point where this is probably going to start redoing some. We're getting kind of low, so that's already done its counter retrace kind of to there. Maybe. I mean, that would have been one of our kind of expected manipulation pops right there. It's already completed. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin going up. Cool. No way. Just so lucky.
Order filled.
To be honest, I mean, the reality is I hope it doesn't just continue from here, because generally that would, you know, that would be a shy. If it does, cool. I wouldn't mind also seeing it go to there. So that's kind of one of those things. We're so close to my support level. This is what happens. Like when I get really close to my support levels, it's like I just got to start taking it long and just accept the fact that it could still go down and hit that level. And I just got to accept that risk sometimes. And that was just one of them. I was like, well, you know, whatever. If I lose some on the way down to the full support tag, it just is what it is. All right, well, might as well take a little bit of profit there on Bitcoin as it pops up, because why not? I mean, that's the point. Also, this I'm not like buying Bitcoin, actually. I was just trading some futures on Bitcoin. Yeah, I do buy Bitcoin, but I'm not going and buying $105,000 worth of Bitcoin, you know, to place a short-term trade like that. I'm not buying, you know, 20 grand worth of, well, I guess it depends on futures, right? But you know what I'm saying? I'm not actually buying the physical Bitcoin for those trades. I'm just looking at futures. Sometimes I would trade like MSTR or something, right? Or like a Bitcoin ETF. But if I'm ever talking about like short-term trades on Bitcoin, it's going to be futures, MSTR, a Bitcoin ETF, something like that. Some other sort of vehicle that is not the physical, well, digital physical Bitcoin, if you will. Again, guys, you know, for those that are watching this little pop, it's nothing crazy. Like, again, we're not thinking this is the be-all, end-all bottom for Bitcoin by any means, right? We just know that this level right here, this one I'm circling, that's a support. That, granted, 90% of the entire 99% of the population probably does not watch, right? So, anyways. So essentially, when the market is coming into a support, it can do three things, right? Realistically, it can do three things. All right. So you just take this for yourself. Those of you that are watching the stream, how many are there? Probably like 1.5. Oh, 3. We are crushing today. We are absolutely moving mountains on our YouTube stream this morning. So yeah, I mean, pretty much three things can happen, right? As you come down to support, either the market's going to support it, right, or it's not. So those are the one of two things, right? And then I guess there's really only two things that can happen. It can either support it or not support it. Now, it can only support it and not support it in a couple different ways, right? So if it's going to support it, it can either go directly to it and bounce. It could go close to it and bounce. It could go just below it and then bounce, right? Those are the three ways that a bounce works when you have a support level that you think is decent, right? Either it literally bounces your support perfectly, maybe it gets close, bounces, or maybe it shakes a little bit below and bounces, right? That would still, regardless, that would be a decent support. Whether it shies, goes below. We always want perfect tags, but that doesn't always happen, right? So anyways, those are your three options as far as how's a bounce going to work. So then how do you trade a bounce, right? So if you're coming into support, what can you do? Like I just did. I was like, well, I don't know if it's going to fully go to it, so I'm just going to buy some, because I know that if it doesn't fully go to it, then that would be the bottom. All right. Also, I know where it should arguably go to. It's to that line. So now I also know my risk. That would be in the event that it holds it exactly and bounces. But what if it doesn't hold it exactly and bounce? Then it breaks down a little bit. Well, it would have to then come back up and go above that level. And then if it's a breakdown, then arguably what's it going to have to do? It's going to hold resistance below. So if we shake below and we're still holding, it becomes then looking for the back test, then hopefully the recovery, right? If the back test turns into a lower high and then you're not, then that's a different story, right? So generally speaking, if you're buying a bounce, it's only going to happen in a couple ways. You're either going to hit your support and bounce, you're going to bounce it prior to, you're going to go below it and bounce, and then you're going to have to look at sort of a back test metric first, blah, 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 blah. So whenever I'm buying into a bounce, those are the three things I think about. Is this a shy? If it is, whatever. If it's not, then it's just going to go down to here. And if we don't hold support, it's going to break. And if we break, then we're going to have to then look at a back test first. Then we're going to hope that no one comes in and tries to resist it. And then we come back up and then we're fine. Which means this bounce you're seeing, not sold on it. Because why? Because we have not tested the support. So I'm still okay with this completely rolling down and going to there. And then still watching long. Granted, I wouldn't want to sell this short to try to go there, because that's just not it. Not for me.
Bro, the entry was like immediately after close, about 30-second inversion.
And also, like, me picking this, like, $105,000 and $90 price point for a support has nothing to do with... Well, it's not that it has nothing to do with what's left on the chart, but I'm not looking left on the chart and, like, looking at candles and the way they formed and going, oh, that's support. That's not how we're looking for it. Granted, that's how, again, you know, like, 99.5% of the retail trading public looks for support. It's probably why it doesn't typically work that great. But anyway, so that's not how I look for support. That's arguably not how you're supposed... I mean, yes and no, you look at it that way, but again, pretty much the way it's taught on the internet should just be banned from life. It's not how it works. Well, anyways, there's a successful Bitcoin trade, so if you guys... well, actually, I hope none of you took that, because again, there should be no reason... Well... Yeah, you do whatever you want to do. Don't do it because I said something. I just show you things that pretty much work. That's all I try to do. And if they don't work, why they're not working. Yeah, so that's cool. That's good. But like I said, we're kind of hoping it actually comes down to this 105,000. Now that would actually be. Let me. Also remember too. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't give that away just yet. We're going to take that off. We're going to redo this. So we're going to start this right here. So do remember that the start of this red box, that's where we projected the start of the Bitcoin bear market would start. So the start of the red box was our date. That date has been given out for years. Literally years. 2-3 years ago, we talked about Bitcoin going up until October 13th of 2025, at which point I would shift my bias to neutral to bearish Bitcoin. Now, I've already told many of you guys this. There's only 4 of you, but so far everything's going perfectly to a T. I hope that it doesn't, because then that means Bitcoin goes down. My long-term portfolio in that regard goes down. I hope I'm right, though, in the sense that that would be some of the most spectacularly accurate analysis put forth anywhere on the internet that I would have come across. So I hope it's right in that sense. I hope it's wrong, because I don't want to lose money in my long-term portfolio. But what was I going to say? Also, that if it is that accurate, then it's just something that I can't fully give away too much, because I don't want people front running my stuff, Now, does it really matter? Probably not, but if I was giving this out to a YouTube stream with like 25,000 people on it every week, then yeah, it probably wouldn't work so well. So anyways, superstitions. So let's just hope Bitcoin doesn't go down, and then if it does, and it goes exactly as planned, then I have to have the confidence to load the absolute freaking boat of my lifetime when I think it's the bottom, because if I predict the exact top of the bull market 3 years ahead of time, and I predict the exact start of the bear market, and then if I do, which I'm not going to give out publicly too much, the exact bottom date area of the Bitcoin bear market, then I should probably just trust myself to liquidate everything I own and go full-on leap options on Bitcoin, and either go bankrupt or make tons of moolah, and then build farms and give away all the food to the poor. That would be lit. That would actually be a cool idea. I don't really know how you'd make it work. It'd probably just be a cash burn for more of like a philanthropy sort of thing, is you take apartment complexes and you change all the landscape, whether on the inside of it, like, some apartment complexes have that little commune area in the middle. But that would be cool to take those and make little gardens, so that way the people that live in the apartment complex can get fresh foods in that regard, like, you know, whenever they're cropped. So pretty much you just turn the land. I mean, it's the same thing as turning your front yard into a little farming area, but most individuals aren't going to do that, nor do they have the time. So it might be better to do something like an apartment complex where you partner with the apartment complex and then you turn their landscaping into crops, and then once a year you crop it out, and then all of your residents get fresh food. That would be sweet. Now, I don't really know how you'd make a profit on that personally, but if someone and or I was capable of doing that without having to make a profit, I probably would, because that would be sweet, and that would be a great thing to do for people. But if there was a way to make a profit, then it arguably would be a good business model to implement, but I just don't see that being a viable business model with the margins on real estate anyways, and property management, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. So something I am, so yeah, like I said, we have so what I was talking about, let me take this red stuff off. Yeah, so like right here, the reason we're looking for a little long here, like the market is not bullish on Bitcoin. Like, let's just be honest. Like the past like week and the past couple days, I mean, it's pretty much going down, right? So we're not bullish in that regard, but we're just bullish in the sense that we know that this leg, so if you look at the weekly chart, right, where was the last bounce on the weekly? It was here, which we did say buy that bottom and then target 116,000 as the maximum for now. So we literally said, no, I didn't. Stock Market Network said buy this bottom and look for a long as high as that top. So that was wild. Now, you can see if you look at the chart, right, we had a weekly bottom, pops up. Now the weekly chart is a lower high rolling down. And this is the volume weighted average price of that bounce right there off that low. So that's why we're looking at that little yellow line as a tradable, bounceable short-term support, because we know it's a weekly volume weighted average price from the previous weeks that established the last market bounce, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is also it's also a big point, which is that the market essentially, it doesn't have to hold support. It has to hold support so that the weekly chart doesn't get stopped out, if you will, but it doesn't have to hold support, right? So, yeah, I mean, it would be nice for it to hold support in the sense that it would prevent, you know, the stop out of that previous weekly candle, arguably. But for the moment, this is currently our weekly VWAP support over under. I myself am not looking bearish Bitcoin in the immediate, because I know that we're running into a potential support. So as far as short-term trading, right, it's like, am I bearish Bitcoin right now? Yes. Am I bearish Bitcoin in the short term? No. Am I bearish Bitcoin in the long term? Yes. In the short term? No. Why not in the short term? Because the short term, it's already ran down to our previous week's weekly volume weighted average price, right? Therefore, we're running into a potential support. If we start to break that down, we can reassess at that point. But we already know what's going to happen when it breaks down, right? When it breaks down, the market can only do one of two things, which is what? It can either go down or it can go up. So if the market comes down, and let's just say it holds zero support and breaks down. I haven't actually, I mean, I already have, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I haven't marked off the new sell targets on the downside. But if it were to break down, it can only do two things. Like what? It can either go down to the next desirable sell targets, or it would be a false breakdown, and the first thing it's going to do is come back to back test the breakdown. All right. So you already know if it doesn't hold support, only one of two options is going to happen. It's going to further slide to the next sell targets, and then we can look for a counter long. Or it's going to break down, and it's going to back test. And at that point, it would have to stay below and then sell to the next targets, or it recovers, and it's really just a support bounce. All right, so that's pretty much everything we're looking at for Bitcoin for the moment. Let's go back to the SPY. I haven't seen the SPY in a little bit. What's going on there? Oh, it bounced. That's crazy. But market is actually still bearish on Bitcoin. Or market is still bearish on the market. Market is still bearish on the market. Let me rephrase that. The stock market is still neutral to bearish. I have a phone call coming in, so I will get back to you soon.
It'd be good to see a power up now. Third time trying longs today, chat. This is the first time I'm in profit right away after hitting buy bid, so we'll see. Very big, we'll see. Oh, so there's 2R. I'll have to continue monitoring this. See if I can add anything. Honestly, I don't think I'd want to come back again, but could. I have like a 30-second, what? SMT, I guess. We have a bullish. I wanted to follow this. Don't really want it to lag again, come back down again. Then it's going to be meh. Kind of want to add, but I don't think I can. Just with how much margin I'm allowed. I don't want to accidentally get stopped out. Like, oh, I have to trail, but I mean, I think I'll put most of the profit at the 2R mark. It's starting to look good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. ES is up there. I kind of want to add. I do. I don't want it to come back down there. So I feel like I have a good. There you go. Oh no. But at this point, I want to reach higher. I don't, because ES just hit this high. I don't want it to go lower again. So my stop's lower there. And I also added in this 30-second, whatever. Let's see how this is going to go. I mean, we have a bunch of stacked highs now. I think I could at least get to here. Whatever I added, I'll take off.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Just popping back on here. All right, let's see.
Slower. Just low. Come on, bro. Why is it like sleeping? Falling asleep at the wheel, bro. Oh. It's 10:55. Like, you know, I'm expecting end of London session, people taking off their shorts, being like, okay. That being said, it could go for that low again and then dip it. Oh no, we'll see. We'll see. Come on. Someone tell Nasdaq to wake the fuck up. Start spooling, brother. Where's the previous hourly high? Okay.
Oh, there's probably, yeah, there's no, sorry, no sound on that. My bad. Mouse is moving, no sound. Long story short, market's coming into its 1 and 5 minute resistance VWAP over under.
Gosh.
VIX, or not VIX, RSI is back to almost 50. MACD on the 5, trying to cross. I'm just trying to determine what momentum looks like, whether we should be looking bearish into this, or if we're going to pop the 1 minute transition to 5 minute and have resistance at the 5 minute, or if we're going to recirculate the VWAP, start doing an actual 2-step Magoo to the upside.
Can't get patient and drawdown, impatient and profit. I've been in profits.
Is Tanya teaching you?
We'll see how
No, Tanya's not teaching me. How did you even know how would you even know that? Were you following her stream, then followed me? That's the real question.
I have a feeling that could go good. Let's see it. Let's see it. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop.
She's in the background with me.
Oh my god. Just gotta wait.
I don't even know. I don't know how or where. See, I'm looking at it on that as another screen. So yeah, I don't know. Unless you, yeah, I don't have no idea how you saw that. Unless it was like a tab or something. I have no idea. No, I'm actually in Tanya's stream trying to teach all of them, but it never works. You know, never works. Yeah, I try to pretty much let our entire chat room of 2,000 people know that we were in an algorithmic selling program today. It started at 9:40. Pretty much don't buy dips. It's going to be very hard, and sure enough, they've been buying dips all morning, it seemed. Anyways. So again, this is where you got to be cautious. The bounce might kind of stall out. So not looking long bias in here, actually looking like potentially bearish here. When I say potentially bearish, it means like this is always where I'd be looking bearish. It's just a matter of, is the market going to respect it and roll it down? But this is always one of those spots where you got to be very skeptical of being too long bias on the bounce, right? The bounce has already come back up, hit the 1 minute volume weighted average price. You know, we're kind of in that 1 and 5 minute zone, and if the market is really meant to stay bearish on the day, then we're probably going to stay, we would top in this area and then continue down. All right, so that's the kind of the unknown is is the market meant to be fully blown bearish today? Meaning we're not going to do a two-step Magoo recovery long. If we're going to do that, that's a different story. But if we're not, then this pretty much ends up being the top spot a lot of times, and we're going to roll down. So we'll see. That also, another thing to take into account is we've already had a really big sell move today. So we've already had a fantastic sell move, right? Now we're retracing. So we've already done a really big sell move, but I would not be long biased going into that top right there. It's just silly. I think it's silly at least. It's not what I'm trying to do. Hey, nice little pullback out of there.
Order filled.
Again, that's not really anything too crazy, but you guys know. You know the dealio. You know Jadelio. We should also look at the volume weighted average price off this low. So if we look at the VWAP off that low and this guy, that puts us a VWAP trend here. So that's nice. So that's untested to it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's untested, but that's a nice spot. But we have a bunch of higher lows established in there anyways. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And actually, what I need to do is look at the SPX here and delete some stuff. Because I don't really know why we bounced where we did. I haven't really been looking at that. Oh, so we're still holding the 1 hour trend. So that's it. Actually, kind of. So let's see, that would be there. Let's go back to the 30 minute. I need to add the 10 SMA. Yeah, I don't know how you saw that, but maybe I moved a screen or something. You saw it. I don't really know though.
Pretty sure like was supposed to stop me out earlier.
Moving average simple. Moving average simple. Turn that from purple to blue.
3 times today.
This
one maybe I actually thinking like where I added. Yeah, I added here. I could have.
Why does that not look
like
right?
Or whatever.
That's still 9. That to be 10.
Right?
Even though it's not going to change it much.
Like 5 seconds to do that.
Okay.
I had up here.
So that was the last buy move. So right now the market is C.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really paying it. I'm always paying attention to this, if you will, but it just wasn't really this morning. But so so this is another thing we look at. We look at previous volume. So just like today. So you see how today we have the let's go back to the SPY. So I'll just make this quick. Oh my gosh, the market's having a little pullback there. Crazy. That's weird. Again, I don't like want to toot my own horn here because this is like, it's one of those setups. It can work well and sometimes it doesn't work, but it's just kind of that area of interest. I don't want to toot my horn too much here, but ultimately, if the resistance, like I said, does end up coming in here and we pretty much top out, we're going to look to roll it down to that volume weighted average price of today's low. That's going to be one of our targets there. Obviously too, these are pretty much like, these are the only things that we're looking at in the immediate is pretty much resistance down to here. If we recover, market can pop to 5 minute, then we're going to look for resistance at the 5 minute to take it back to the 1 minute, and then if 1 minute breaks, then we'll be looking back down to there. And if 5 minute gets taken out, then I just have to reassess because clearly the resistance isn't working there.
We are still shut down.
All right. But yeah, going back to what I was going to say. So see how we have the VWAP. So really, real quick, I just say a bunch of stuff. I mean, but either way, you have the VWAP. You guys know that. We're coming into that. So that's the algorithm VWAP for today. If we go to the SPX and we look at the 30 minute, that's where the market's hasn't been perfect, but trying to support arguably. So if we look at the buy signal algorithm VWAP on the 30 minute, so remember that the entire S&P system is derived from a 30 minute, right? That's what we use for control mainly. So this is the same thing. It's just the VWAP of the long that started this move up. And yes, the other day, another week, we went and broke down the 50, so the market's bearish. So we roll down to the volume weighted average price of the previous start of buy signal. So this was, again, remember the market is just a competing game against bulls and bears. So back here where I'm circling, that was our last buy signal. Where I'm circling now, that was the start of our new sell signal pretty much, right? and the VWAP of the previous buy signal is pretty much where these lows are coming at. So you can almost think about it as the previous buyers are trying to support their volume weighted average price here. At the same time, the new sellers of the market would rather us to break them down, but we're not right now. So that's another thing we look at. That's another thing that 99.999% of the population does not look at or use. Again, that's another reason why it actually works.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of good idea. How to be aggressive today, inside day, every day for me, how it is to trade. And right now, I don't really have like a good idea where price is going. Is price gonna go all the way back down to Friday's low? Maybe. Considering it's so weak and failing here. And for that to do that, I don't think it can do that today. It's quite a large range to do that. Well, average range is 383. To do that, ideally, we'd have to go 412. Let's go to previously low. The average range for it, 370. Kind of tricky.
Order filled. Order filled.
So let's just clean up all this randomness here. So let's see.
Lux tomorrow. Freaking just nothing. Yellow folder. Wednesday is NFP employment change. ISM services PMI.
That's where you gotta be careful. You might squeeze the market up to the 5-minute now.
Like
Order
Wednesday is
filled.
just
Order filled.
10 a.m. news, okay. Today's 10 a.m. was down, and then yeah, I tried long after this. I would do that again.
Order filled.
SMT at London long.
Order filled.
Long, the stronger one. Yeah, that's fine.
We're still in the battling zone, if you will, but like I said, the risk if the 1 minute doesn't really do its job is we come back down to the 5-minute, or come up to the 5-minute, excuse me.
Friday's tentative NFP, but we have 10 a.m. news on Friday at least. Okay. Didn't want to spool for me today. I mean, yeah, anything on the long side was very short-lived today. Okay. I'll see. I'll just wait for the afternoon. We'll probably try to find like a good setup, not an aggressive one for the last trade on this account. For the Tradeify Grand Cup, this is the first account I tried. I think I had room for one more trade. And if that goes wrong, whatever.
And again, remember, like we're saying, is a lot of times if we don't hold the 5-minute, then the market would just press right up into this. Well, hold the 1-minute, market goes up into the 5-minute. So I'll just draw a little arrow. So that would be the target of the 1-minute breakout. Slash squeeze move, if you will.
Pretty happy with this trade and how I managed it. Added. Maybe I could have been a little bit more nimble about taking a partial, but it's like when I'm doing a competition account, I'm not gonna be not as conservative. Let's see this. 5 points. And yeah, we did not much. not much there. Since then, we didn't do anything actually for the past 10 minutes. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go for a walk, to be honest. There's not really nothing I want to get involved in right now. I'm gonna go for a walk. I have my personal training, then I'm gonna, like I said, check out the afternoon session. Literally just in the spirit of this competition. I didn't take any real trades on my live account or prop accounts. Mostly to focus on the Grand Cup thing,
Order
but also,
filled.
like I said, we're still in an inside day. It's not my favorite
Order filled.
vibe. Would've been way better if we had taken this out, then I'd be in the short.
Order filled. Order filled.
Okay. All good, everybody.
Yay,
Coming out
crushing,
with
crushing,
content also
crushing.
after that, definitely got to review last month's trades, the good, the bad. Was able to, by the end of the month, came back. Nice little bullish move in the equity curve. I really want to like analyze what I did there, because I do remember saying like I'm focusing more on taking more partials at the first target, etc. In this market, we kind of are ranging. It's kind of really difficult to hold on to any kind of trade, and not get stopped out
Order filled.
of your trail.
Say
account.
the
So I'm gonna analyze, that, especially during a government shutdown. It's my first time trading a government shutdown.
Order
So at
filled.
the beginning, it was kind of rough.
the Bitcoin market still doing what we kind of expect, kind of holding right around that weekly 50
Gotta
SMA.
be more nimble. But I'm gonna
Nice
read
little
out-
rejection candle there on SPY at the 1 minute volume weighted average price. I mean, rejection candle, it's not going to really call it a rejection candle, you know, but
Save the month.
We're pretty much even on the break even. Plus 31% and break even on the day for an ES.
whoa.
Mixed bag here. A lot of green, a lot of red. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Just gotta go back to the drawing board.
Order filled.
Kind of happy I did.
Oh no, the market's getting clapped right where we thought it could. Well, I don't want to say clapped. I mean, it's really like two candles down, you know, but
I would have gone stop. We probably would have gone stopped out anyway. Or here.
but we are looking for that zone on the bottom for this roll right now, guys. Just an FYI.
There's no reason for me to go short.
The little puke face. That's where we want this thing to go. Come on, baby. Take her down. Take her down there, champ.
Oh, good. Today's just not the best.
And
day.
if I was wrong about that, why would I be wrong? Because it would have to hold something prior to. The only thing I could think of would be like a breakout candle in here, but I don't even think that's going to happen. I think we got this puppy. Come on, baby. Give daddy the big old biscuit today.
That's it. Don't be a
Order
degen.
filled. Order
Good luck
filled.
if you're trading the Tradify Grand Cup. I'm rooting for you. Today, not the best start for me, but hey,
Order
like I
filled.
said, gotta start out aggressive because if you're not first, you're last. Yeah. Just gonna go for a walk, then reevaluate. Also, like, just review last
Oh,
month's trade.
come on.
I did review, but
Such a lame market sometimes. No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, we just didn't get target, that's all. It just tells me it's holding something else, which is probably like some other view app.
so maybe
Probably.
start
I mean, I'm not really
more
worried
aggressively
about
and
it.
Just start scalping this challenge instead of holding.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's either we're going down to this guy or these are going to be the two targets we're looking for uppies,
See
which
you
would be like here,
tomorrow.
number one, and number
Here we
two.
are. See you
So
tomorrow.
that guy,
Same bat time, same
I
bat
guess I
channel,
could do it like that.
9:15.
That guy and this guy.
Just make sure nothing can
So those are
steal
kind of
the
next little
non
short-term
set.
things we're thinking about is if we, again, don't roll 1 minute resistance, we're then going to break out into the 5 minutes, which are those two little guys upwards, which again isn't, it's really nothing fancy. It's nothing all that exciting. It's like, well, duh. I mean, I guess if the price goes up, it's only going to go up a little bit to get those, but yeah, you know, it's just how things are situated. Hold on, guys. I got a phone call coming in. Okay, I'm back on here. Oh boy. Man, I mean, I thought by these days YouTube would have been happier with our service to the internet, but so far, no. YouTube does not like it when we put little puke faces on the chart about where things can go, I guess. I gotta sharpen up on my ICT concepts, I think. Oh no, what's going on? Why is the market sucking here? I thought it was supposed to go up. Why isn't the market going up, guys? I'm confused. Go up. Come on, baby. Alright, I'm gonna go look at some other stuff just for funsies. What's going on with Bitcoin? Probably. Oh, Bitcoin's just kind of holding down where we thought it would. No big deal. Pretty straightforward. What about SPX? So it's time to look at some stuff here. So we know one thing's for certain, and that is the golden pocket of this candle has not been tested, which makes that a target. Let's check the 15-minute. Not 15 minutes unbalanced. So pretty much means we have reasons for the markets to go here at some point. Not saying it's now. Let's look at the 5-minute, no GP, no GP. So we got 2 GPs up here unbalanced. 5-minute GP down here unbalanced. So you have some unbalance here. Okay, let's check the 15. 15, that looks balanced. I don't think it's not. Okay. Okay. So pretty much we do have some reasons for the markets to be going up for some fib stuff, but like I said, we're just tracking the 1-minute volume weighted average price right now, which we'll see. We're starting to kind of get over it, I think. So yeah, we should zoink up here at about 66270. So there's the pop to 66270, which, or 68270. There it is. Yeah, that's what I thought, sucker. And now, pretty much, I would say the best case scenario of this pop is to go to here. All right, so we already got the next 5-minute. Now it would be like, does the 5-minute sustain, and we go up there and get that. So we'll see. We will see. What about this guy? That balanced, that is balanced. So the last 1-minute candle's 161 extension forward also lines up with that 5-minute VWAP, so that's kind of interesting. So hopefully we just get like hopefully the 1-minute Fibonacci just follows through, breaks out, and goes 5-minute. I have no idea what's going to happen, but it's just kind of cool. 1-minute, so 161 lines up a 5-minute VWAP target. Obviously, you have to break this previous high. Pretty much what happens here is if we break that previous high, the most likely thing would be like going to again, that price I'm talking about, 68310. I don't guarantee anything in the market. It's just what's most likely to happen if something cool happens, I guess. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin's bouncing where we said it would bounce. That's crazy. Oh no, that's probably why. It's 100%. Yeah, it's because I don't really trade live anymore. So I mean, that's the reality of it. Unless you trade live, nobody really wants to listen to you, which I get, you know. So I just don't like doing it anymore. I hate showing how much money I win and lose at times. That's too much pressure. So it's not my thing anymore. But you're right. That's exactly what everyone wants to see. Want to see live trading. But then again, it's like this. I mean, I guess it's not even entirely true because there's a bunch of other live streams out there that do not do anything as far as like live streaming trades and have thousands and thousands of viewers. So it's not even really true. I mean, I'm sure it helps, but there's plenty of them out there that literally do zero trading. It's like, oh, you guys just told everyone to get long the market today. Now they're getting clapped. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, it depends on how you want to, I guess, verbiage it, but yeah, I mean, for sure, no doubt. Well, yeah, I mean, again, at the end of the day, I mean, it's just the reality of it, right? You know, the industry, the stock market industry wants people to invest and they want people to trade, right? So if you do not promote and fall in line with that industry motive, then there's no purpose of you, essentially, right? So, you know, I myself, right, for example, I'm not going to sit here and promote to you guys a bunch of, you know, different trading prop firms and what have you, and I'm not going to promote, a bunch of different brokerage platforms. I don't do that. I used to. I don't do it anymore. All right, I'm not going to promote to you flashy, this is going to work. No, you're probably going to lose your money. You probably shouldn't even trade, right? But if you really want to learn how these things do kind of work, you can always tune in. But yeah, I mean, that's the reality. Is if you don't sing that tune, then the market really has no need for you in a sense, other than you just open up brokerage accounts and spend money, right? So I no longer sing that tune, so I'm kind of out of the gig. Okay, we probably, maybe not quite, getting close. So hit that one, and now you're gonna get day one. Cool. Oh my gosh, look at it, Bitcoin's bouncing. Who would have thought? Crazy. Keep looking for your bull flags, people. Keep looking for your bull flags. Sure, they'll be coming soon. Anyways, probably going to run here. Got a couple of meetings to get to today. But like I said, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to stream nowadays. But, onto YouTube, and haven't really figured out that schedule yet. But when I do, you guys will know, and we'll be here. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, but it's just not easy, because the best time to be on is in the morning. That's when you're supposed to be kind of helping people that actually pay for information, right? So it's kind of a struggle to figure out how we're really going to manage that. So, but anyways, I will keep you guys up to speed when I know more, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, which there's only like 2 of you. So cheers, 2 friends.